We are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our fifth PagerDuty MCP community stream. I'm Rocio, product manager of the Forward Deploy Engineering team, and I'll be your host today. And here with me, we have someone new. Not so new. He has been in other streams, but this is Sebastian. He's a Forward Deploy engineer, and he will be driving the development updates and the demo today. So please, during the session, feel free to ask any questions in the chat. We'll have a couple minutes at the end to answer to those. But keep those coming in the chat, please. And let's get started with a roadmap update. In January and February, we're focusing on making the day-to-day experience smoother. We'll ship reliability improvements and add a few features that came actually from the community contributions. Then in March, you'll see better filtering to pull only the incident data you need, plus essential webhook capabilities that make integrations cleaner and more reliable. And finally, in April, we shift to visibility and outcomes, and we'll focus on expanding analytics so you can see aggregate incident trends and drill into service and team level metrics. As always, this roadmap is flexible, the timelines may evolve, and as a matter of fact, we have decided to move out of January the MCP split. We put this item on hold and decided not to move forward with it. That said, we're not ruling out the split in the future, and we will revisit this if we get stronger repeated requests from customers or if there is a clear performance degradation. So if you want, an MCP split and you feel like performance is not getting better, please tell us in our GitHub repository. And a quick reminder, just because I mentioned this prior to the holidays, but everyone was on Christmas mode. So in case you missed this, our PagerDuty Advanced MCP is now in early access, and you can request it via the link that I'm showing on the slide, pagerduty.com/early-access. I'll share the link in the chat as well. And now moving on to the fun part. Sebastian, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you, Rocio, for having me again. So, hi everyone. Today we're going to discuss some of the new features and tools that we have in the MCP. That's quite exciting because you will have more options and more different information in your context window. So, as you know, this is our repository, and you will find here all the installation or setup process depending on the agent or setup that you are using. But if you go to the bottom, you will find all the tools that are available right now, like the alert grouping one, change events, event orchestration. And we're going to present today the ones that are get alert from incident, list alert from incident, and also get list log entries and get log entries, along with all these things that you can perform. So when we talk about alerts, we have to remind that PagerDuty works with different events, and then when it's receiving some events from monitoring tools, along with all the integrations that we have, about 700 integrations, there are these events are getting triggered and trigger an alert, and that will create an incident. So after an incident is created based on the escalation policy, schedules, and all the stuff, you're going to receive a notification. So today I'm the user that have been notified. I have this specific monitoring tool that is monitoring my CPU. And right now I have a low level alert threshold here. So you will see that this specific incident that I received, and also is a P1 with a high urgency. So this belongs to a specific service that is called Servers New Relic. And for this service, we have the alert grouping, the intelligent alert grouping with a 1 hour window. This will depend on the monitoring tool and the use case that you have. And for this specific one, we'll leave for this demo purposes, we'll leave it in 1 hour. So any alert that is received from the first trigger alert from 1 hour to that window, the 1 hour window, it will group those alerts into different ones. So this is the information from the alert. And also this service is connected to a business service, and business service help us to notify our stakeholders as a subscriber. So we could have this specific dashboard that is called internal status page, where we can notify, hey, something's happening here. Hey, we have this incident. There is a P1. We have a CPU usage over 90%. If I use 10% for this demo, but it could be over 90% and so on, and the stakeholders will get notified. But if we want to do all this stuff and retrieve all this information from an agent, like I just got this specific triage, and look at my cell phone. I got all those different notifications. I'm getting paged at 3 a.m. in the morning. So I will start with, hey, can you please list all the list the latest incidents from and alerts from PagerDuty, please. And this will use the last or these MCP tools, like they get alert from incident, the list alerts, and all the stuff to retrieve that information, and it will show it to me. Just for you to know, this is the Cloud Code extension that is installed directly from the from the extension marketplace in VS Code. You can use it. I like it because it's like it has a very good UI and I love it. But these are the last alerts that we received. It's the same that we saw in the UI, but it will help us to have more context and all the stuff. So we could use this information directly. So now I can, okay, great. I would like to understand what happened, like the whole timeline. If we go back to the incident, it will be something like this. There is this is the whole timeline. So in this particular case, we have some entries that could be related to incident workflows, to notified, and also custom fields have been updated. The priority was changed and all the stuff. So right now there is a filter that we could use here that you could check the assignments, the custom fields, and also the workflow automation that you could use. But also we could retrieve that information. Can you list the log entries of this active incident, please? And that will show the same information because those that we just check in the UI are the entries. So we're going to receive those log entries from the specific incident. Mm. Mhm. Okay, great. So we receive all the different entries and we can check all the details. So the first part was the email notifications, and all the stuff was sent to this different by email and by push notification. There were also some incident workflows that ran, and the first one got some errors, so I had to dig into that. But also there is another one that was completed that set the priority and all the stuff. And the incident configuration, this priority was set to P1 and the custom field was set. So all this information now is available for you. In this particular case, we are not going to use it. But the use case will be that if you have another MCP, like you, in this case, I use New Relic, right? So you will have the New Relic MCP configured in your environment and use it like to retrieve the logs, to perform some actions, like different tools that your monitoring tool could help you with. But also we have GitHub connected. So if we are working in a repository or something like that, we could start checking the different pull requests, the commits, what was the latest change, and all that information. We could also have the Atlassian one, so we can pick this bug and comment and add some different information to this ticket, or maybe to other information that we use in the Atlassian suite. So for this specific case, okay, thank you. The incident is mitigated. Can you please resolve it with a quick note? And we are going to allow this tool. Yeah. And the incident got resolved. And if we go up, it's resolved. Okay, great. So that's how we're going to use this specific tool. And remember that we could do this stuff and more if you start connecting different MCPs to your environment. That's mainly it for today. Thank you, Rocio. Pass it back to you.
Thank you, Seva. So yeah, I'll open this moment for questions. And I have one. So if we step backward, and I think this question is something that other people from the community might be asking, but what is the main difference between, using the MCP or just, using the PagerDuty API directly?
Yeah, that's a good one. Well, the API protocol and the MCP protocol are very different. Currently, since we have all these new agents and different models that we could use, the MCP are like more optimized, or should be more optimized to those contexts and to those uses. Sometimes you could use APIs that retrieves a lot of information that could be a little trickier for the moment for the model to handle. So it will like fill your whole context window, and then you will need to clear and start again with all that information. So MCP kind of optimize that point, and it's also agent focused for the connections and stuff with the other platforms. So that's why we recommend, if you are using an agent, let's use MCP first.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. And now, kind of moving forward to what you actually demonstrated, I was wondering if these tools also pull custom fields from our incidents. Like,
Yeah, related to the custom fields, yeah, we could retrieve that information like through API. We are working, and the custom field tools are in the roadmap for the MCP. But we don't have that specific tool yet. So you will need to do it directly from the UI or the API.
okay, I'll make sure that is in the roadmap coming soon.
Yeah, yeah, coming soon.
Yeah. Let me check in the chat. I don't see any questions, but maybe a final one. Um, is there a way, like, can you pull this data for multiple PagerDuty accounts? Like,
Right. Yeah. So yeah, thanks to this MCP, there is one-to-one communication. Like if you have the PagerDuty dev environment connected through MCP, and you will use the prod environment, like you'll need an API key for that,
Mhm.
and you can connect both environments to your, in this case, to Cloud Code, and have both environments and use the same tools or different tools for that. So yeah, you will do that. So
Yeah,
customers that have both
yeah,
environments, yeah, they can work with both.
yeah.
Let's do
Yeah, I
this.
was just thinking about that, asking, thinking of the customers here. Um,
Mhm.
no questions in the chat, so let's move back to our slides. And to wrap it up, you already know where we're at, but a quick reminder, we're in our community website, on LinkedIn, YouTube, and of course, Twitch as well. And stay tuned because there is where we are announcing the next stream. And finally, just to make sure you have already bookmarked, the essentials, I'll share again the remote MCP API, and also I'm going to share the GitHub repository link in case you missed that as well. Um,
Mhm.
if you have any questions, you can contact us, and we're looking at what you're writing in those issues. So keep those ideas coming, please. And see you next time.
Bye.
Mm.